little bit of spray paint and some taillight wiring. Obviously, just about to fix that up, but goes a long way. Not done yet, but sure as hell looks real good compared to what it was. Still got a couple spots to hit. Very cool. Fires are coming tomorrow. Off to the new home. So if you're watching this video, it's because we sold those cool ass free jet skis, and what did we get? A boat. That's so cool. That is so cool. It's got to be Duramax. You excited?
This is one of my favorite purchases you've ever made.
The stinker, baby.
I think we have to break out our cooler.
Yeah. That's so cool. So I hate when people make YouTube videos and they do all this boring, suspenseful stuff. So I'll put some clips in on getting those, you know, what those jet skis started out as, and what they ended up as, and how they're going to be moving on to be a set of good, a set of good machines for somebody. That's a little better. So I went for a run this morning, and I ran down the road, went about 2 miles out, and on my way out I saw a shop with a bunch of cool cars. I looked in the back and I saw some jet skis, so I ran up to the door shirtless and flagged some guy down working on some stuff, and he was working on a 2021 side-by-side, an RZR Turbo. I said, "What's the deal with those jet skis out back?" He said, "Oh, they're junk." So I said, "That's my kind of stuff." He said, "You want them?" I said, "Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?" It was time. I didn't need 4 jet skis. I can't really take him out on a jet ski, so it was time to step up to a boat. This is actually about a month and a half after ownership. It is currently August, 7th, 2022. And this is our 1987 Rinker V-195. It's a little dirty. We took it out on the lake yesterday. You'll never guess what we paid for this boat. Put it in the comments. What do you think we paid for it? It's pretty clean. It came with the came with the old knee board. That's my wakeboard. Came with the trailer, and Oakley's taking a poop. And we were driving home. My parents had come up for the weekend and blew a tire going down the highway. It's pretty ugly. How'd your first test drive on your boat go? Well, the boating was awesome, but the trailer tires, not so great. So we've got 4 brand new tires on this and a brand new spare, which is about $500. I'm not a boater by any means. I'm a noob, so we keep learning something new every time. Unfortunately, usually the hard way. We ran this thing in the sand without realizing it because the depth finder wasn't working, and scraped a little bit of beauty off the front of this thing, so that's okay. But what other mistakes have we made so far? Getting it on the trailer, things like that, but we got it for cheap. It's been awesome. It's got a small block 5.7 liter 350 equivalent Merc Cruiser 5.7 is what it's called, with an Alpha 1 outdrive. It's got a automatic power trim, came with the ladder. I was stationed in Alaska before this, if you didn't know that. So we got a pretty cool name for this boat. It's you'll see it soon, so stay tuned. What else about this boat? So if we jump up on here, the interior is not perfect. It's a little dirty for me working on it, especially, but it's in pretty decent shape. Got some Oakley hair on the ground that needs to be vacuumed up. The fuel level sensor isn't working, so I currently have, if you move this out of the way, you'll see the engine back there, and the fuel tank's right underneath. I was having issues with the fuel filler neck and a crusty inlet, crusty fuel line, so doing some repairs on that. Usually this seat and that seat will fill this area right here. And then these are obviously 6 more. It seats 8. It's a bow rider. Came with an anchor. It's been super fun. The thing runs great. Haven't had any issues. Didn't want to start the other day because of that fuel line priming issue. It was just not getting fuel. So my dad luckily saved the day. I called him up and said, what do you do when something's either flooded or not getting fuel? He said, hold it wide open. So we did, fired right up, and it's been great ever since. So I think I had flooded it by giving it too much fuel on initial startup. But other than that, let's talk about those jet skis. So if you watch the other videos, you'll notice that we got 4 free jet skis. This is one of those fancy schmancy lily pads get-ups. We can tow that behind the boat, and it's really fun for the dog. So when we got the jet skis, it was a 1990 Yamaha Waverunner 650. That thing booked at about just under $2,000, but you're not going to get that nowadays because it wasn't in beautiful shape, but it ran great. Then we had 2 other 1994 GTXs. Those are the 3-seater 657s. We, like I said, paid nothing for those 3 and a trailer. Ended up doing axle bearings and paint and a new coupler on the front of that trailer, and a whole bunch of other garbage to that trailer. Safety chains, some spare tire or newer tires, and what else did we do? Tail light wiring, brake light wiring, that whole get up, some brake stuff, and overall investment. I'm gonna give you a rundown right now. All right, so I'm gonna insert some clips of the old 1990 Yamaha Waverunner. Well, I'd like to see a regular human try and transfer jet skis from one trailer to another trailer without water. You got to be a special kind of redneck. And we'll talk about what it costs to get that thing up and running. I'm going to show you guys some other stuff while I talk because you're probably bored and just want to watch some entertaining stuff on YouTube. So the 1990 Yamaha Waverunner 650, bought that thing for $35 because that's what I had in my pocket and I felt guilty taking them for free. I had a tether switch I had to buy for it. I needed a fuel pump rebuild kit. That was $25 and $13 respectively. Exhaust gasket kit, $13. Starter, $69. Whole bunch of brake cleaner, about $25 worth. Carb cleaner, $15 worth. Had to get the starter bolts extracted. That was about $55. Starter fasteners, about $10. That was about all the hardware. 10mm carb thin wall socket, which I ended up not needing, $12. Hole plugs for the back, $8. B8 ES spark plugs, $20. Some Super M 2-stroke oil, $33. I needed a starter Bendix, $20. Starter stator gasket, $10. Starter Bendix hardware, about $34. The stator itself, $34. Fuel filters, about $24. Fuel line, $26, and a brandy new battery, which is about $97. What does that add up to? That adds up to $554 for just that one machine. All right, how about the 1994 Yamaha Sea Doo Gtx 650? Excuse me, I said Yamaha. The 1994 Sea Doo GTX 650. Initial purchase, free. That came with it. Timing degree wheel to check the timing, $10. Rear plug, $2. Inline fuel filter, $4. Fuel line for the whole machine, $30. A $65 battery. About $3 worth of electrical tape. More fuel line, about $20. The air box itself, about $15. Air filter screen, didn't end up buying it. Fuel selector, ended up cleaning it, that was free. And a tank, fuel filter, and O-ring, $15. What's that total add up to? $150 for that machine. That thing was so much fun. All right, and I'm not sure if you guys have seen it because I didn't want to waste anyone's time. So I purchased, I guess you could say purchased, because the guy who gave me the 3 free jet skis from the get-go said I've also got another one at my river house. So long story short, came across him again. He said come pick it up. So we went out there. I'll insert some clips right now. You won't believe what that thing started out life as, and I'll put some clips of what it ended up looking like as well. Hang on. I can't make this shit up. This is wild. Oh, there's a beer can. So, what did we invest in that machine? Let's take a look. So that was a 1996 Sea Doo Gtx 787. I felt so bad because the guys had given me a deal. I knew I was going to sell the machines at the end, so I thanked them for helping me out using the side-by-sides and all that garbage. I had $60 for each of them because it was two friends, so $120. $6 worth of mystery oil to get the thing to turn over. DB starter, which was $60. Definitely recommend those. A full Mikuni OEM carb rebuild kit because I learned on the first one it's just worth it to buy the real deal rebuild kit. $30 worth of fuel line is usually what it ends up being, 15 feet or so. Drain plugs, $9. I bought a brand new used seat for it, new to me, $75, and a gauge cover for it, which I ended up painting white for $20. So in total, including the battery, not including the battery I bought for it, which I ended up keeping, it was about $400. What did I do with that machine? So I put it up for sale. I knew the engine was junk. It would run, getting all the moisture out of it. I'll put some clips of that in here. I just pulled this stator off and all this water came pouring out. Oh, it's so gross. Look at that crap. This thing's been upside down for a day too. Holy cow. How is this thing still making spark? It's so crazy. Would not have been worth it in my opinion. I knew we wanted a boat. At that point we had already had the boat. I knew I wasn't gonna mess around with the jet skis anymore. So I posted it up online for $800. Some guy came along and said he wanted it, so we settled on $600 for that machine. I made a couple $100 profit. He's got a good machine that's got all new fuel lines. Carbs are rebuilt. There's even 5 gallons worth of premix and Super M mixed in it already. Lines are already primed. All he's got to do is, the engine's already out, everything's in there. All he has to do is take the engine, rebuild it, because he could put it back together as is and risk it with the, all the water that had gotten in it. So you gonna rebuild it?
I am. I told you I'm gonna get all 3 of them today.
That's sweet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it wasn't worth it to me to have a ticking time bomb or sell it to somebody and have them, get screwed. So hopefully he'll have a great machine. That thing booked at about $2,600. But in my opinion, you're not going to get that. You probably would have got $2,000 for it, and I would have had to either buy an SPT engine for it, which would have been about $1,000 without the break-in oil and all that jazz, or I would have had to rebuild it myself, which didn't really want to get into. Did that on a dirt bike. It worked out great, but then you get, it gets expensive quickly. So I knew it had money. I knew I could get out without getting screwed. So I made a couple $100. I took the money and ran. So overall, what did we end up investing? So with the 1990 Yamaha, putting about $500 into it, and then with the other one, the GTX, putting about $400 into it. We're at $900, and then the SPX was another about $100. So we're looking at just under $1,000, and all the work we did to the trailer, however many cans of spray paint I used, and the wiring harness, and tires, and all the bearings, and all that jazz. It ended up being about $500 on top of that. So for $1,500, what did we end up selling the jet skis for? Off to the new home. Go ahead, put your comments down below. Take a guess. I'm gonna tell you, it was $3,600. So that was 3 machines. That was the 1990 Yamaha, the 94 GTX, and the 94 GTX parts machine. All 3 of those had titles. The trailer did not. The guy showed up, a great deal in his opinion, because the Waverunner itself was worth about $2,000. And the The other two machines booked at a little over $2,000 as well. So in theory, he's got about $5,000 worth of stuff. He's got a trailer that's, you know, if he registered it as homemade, probably be $1,000 trailer, 4-place trailer, brand new hardware. So for $1,500 for me invested, and a lot of fun and a lot of knowledge I gained from working on those, I made out with $3,600 cash. And then I went and sold that other machine, and as I said, made $600. So I made about $4,200 outright with a net profit of, what's $4,200 minus $1,500? It's just under $3,000 in profit, $2,700. Now, what did we pay for this this Rinker here? So this is a 1987, like I said, clean title with a trailer ready to go, $4,500. If you look this thing up, the guy had just done a whole bunch of repairs to it. He had taken it on trade-in. He's actually a boat repair shop, and he made his money off the boat that he had sold to these people, and he told me he just wanted to make the money back that he had gotten, you know, invested on this on trade. So he valued that at about $4,500, and it ended up being a great deal for us. It's been an awesome boat so far. Like I said, I've done a bunch of work to it just because I wanted to. It's got a radio, got some comfortable seats. We've already done outboard gear oil in here. It takes about a quart. Each quart is $16. It's crazy. Like I said, $500 worth of tires. I cleaned up the wheels, greased those suckers up. What else did we do? I ended up breaking the I was cranking the boat up a little bit too hard, and I broke the chain. Not the chain, I broke the crank strap. Snapped right off. Luckily, it didn't have any issues. That's why you always use a strap too. Came with the knee board, like I said. Jack's good. All the lights work. When it blew the tire going down the highway, it actually exploded the taillight too. So it's got two brand new LED taillights back here. Came with the fenders or bumpers, or whatever the hell you want to call those. Came with an anchor. I did 8 new spark plugs because I'm all too familiar with the small block Chevys. It's got a good battery in it. Like I said, we're doing a fuel level sensor because the sensor doesn't work. You'll see a little bit of gas from the pulling the sensor out when the tank was full, and then moving the boat down a slope. It seeped a little bit out. It's got a new fuel line, new fuel water separator. Belts have been good so far. Knock on plastic. Put some decals on it for extra horsepower because I didn't want to break this. What else did we do? Haven't changed the oil yet. We'll do that at the end of the season. Put some power steering fluid in it. Clean the carb a little bit. I bought a cap and rotor for it, so we're going to go ahead and do that soon. What else did we do? I think that's pretty much it. Thing's a blast. So, the old Rinker stinker, ready, loaded up. Got to get some new tires tomorrow for the trailer. We're thinking about either calling it Rinker, the stinker, or we're going to call it the Ice Rinker, and then do like a North Pole Alaska decal over there. Haven't decided yet. Definitely gonna need a swim platform off the back. Working on figuring out a way to do that. And what else? That canvas bimini top's gonna go, and we'll put I'm working on mounting up a wakeboard tower and a bimini top over the top of that. Should be pretty sweet. That truck is so cool. like 50 feet above the water. Oh, there he goes. Comment down below if you think that was a good use of time fixing up those old jet skis, and if you're blown away by making $2,700 appear out of thin air. Obviously this isn't the most perfect boat in the world, but it's a ton of fun. We're gonna get a big wakeboard tower for it, get rid of this cheesy bimini top that I keep smacking my head on, and keep having a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna go ahead and insert some clips of us putzing around on this thing and Oakley enjoying the hell out of himself. Obviously he loves this thing. But yeah, leave a like if you think this is cool. Subscribe if you want to see more content of the old GTCS, or working on Sarah's Jeep. I think we might put a little leveling kit in that, or any work that might come from that truck. Also, I'm sure you saw on the way out, we finally took Sid's fenders out. So it's getting closer and closer to taking the body off the frame on that Chevelle. So stay tuned for that. I started recording that process, so you'll see that come up soon. Anyways, if you're interested in any of those things, I'd really like to have YouTube be able to fund our fun. I think that would be the coolest thing in the world, and if it entertains you guys along the way, then so be it. But went ahead and got the bumpers off, the fenders off, the hood off, and radiator support, shroud, all that jazz today. So before we know it, we're gonna yank the motor and trans, and then take the glass out, gut the interior, and before we know it, we'll be jacking up the body off the frame. Probably end up backing the car trailer in here, use the engine hoist in the front and the back is the plan, and then we'll put the body on the trailer temporarily and drive it out of here, and then take the frame, get it sandblasted, and turn this 1968 Chevelle SS396 into the ripper it deserves to be. As you can see, it's not perfect by any means, but that is a 6-liter LS with forged pistons. That's going to be going in here. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a like. Thanks.